Incontinence means to pee our pants when we don't want to. Stress incontinence happens not because we're stressed out and therefore we pee our pants, but because there's pressure or stress on the bladder that the bladder can't hold and therefore you leak. Let me try to show you what this looks like. This is your pelvis, and our bladder lives inside our pelvis. The pelvic floor is all of this musculature in red, all right? The pelvic floor acts like a clamp on the hose that drains from the bladder. So the pelvic floor makes sure that there is no pee dripping out the bottom all of the time. The balloon's the bladder, the fingers are the pelvic floor. So the pelvic floor works hard enough to make sure that no pee is dripping out the bottom. And usually it does a pretty good job. The problem arises when the pelvic floor can't hold tight enough and something drips out the bottom. One of the most common times that women will notice that they leak is when they cough or sneeze or laugh with a full bladder or jump or run. Those are all situations that cause stress or pressure on the bladder. And if this is not working well enough, then you're going to leak. That's stress incontinence. The most common assumption is that the pelvic floor is too weak and therefore everything's getting out. Sometimes that can happen, that the pelvic floor is just either too weak, it doesn't tighten enough, or maybe it's too slow to tighten, so it doesn't hold back. What if I told you that just as many women, if not more, have an issue with their pelvic floor being too tight or too tense? That makes no sense, right? It does, because what happens is that a lot of women are holding a little bit of a Kegel all day, a little bit of a tightening in their pelvic floor all day. The problem is that no muscle can be tight all the time. And what happens is it gets tired. So if my fingers are squeezing way harder than they need to, and then all of a sudden there's pressure over top, my fingers are going to be too tired to be able to hold even more. So it's a very common issue for women with stress incontinence is that their muscles are just working overtime all day so that when they really need them during a time that involves a lot of pressure, picture yourself walking around holding 4 heavy books all day, right? Arms getting tired. Then all of a sudden, someone comes and lays down 2 more books. Oh, I can't hold it anymore. There are many women out there that have incontinence. A lot of them wear pads every day. Some women choose to stop all the activities that cause them leaking. There are options for surgery, which usually in this case involve almost like a support of the tube that carries the pee so that it's not as easy to dribble out. As a pelvic health physical therapist, I say go see one of us out there because it is a very effective way at managing stress incontinence. We work with the muscles involved, we work on helping you decrease all of the pressure that comes down and help find ways for you to stay dry.